Good morning. Welcome to yet another wonderful edition of the paper review. It's a beautiful Monday morning, the 30th day in the month of October 2023. Welcome to Quest Television. My name is Alex Obunaya. There are 5 papers up for review this morning. I'm not going to be doing this alone. I have here with me a regular guest on this segment of the Quest today. He is Comrade Efe Odamo. Good morning to you, Comrade.
Yeah, good morning. Hope you had a very lovely weekend.
I did.
And a brighter future looking on to us.
Hopefully. Okay, I did say we have 5 papers up for review this morning. The papers are Daily Trust, The Punch, Daily Sun, Tribune, and The Vanguard. We're going to go through them with a speed of alacrity if we can, because there's so many issues to talk here on the front pages of these papers. We start off with Daily Trust newspaper, and the lead story on the front page of Daily Trust, as you can see on your screen: federal government yet to pay 73.3 billion naira peculiar allowance 7 months after. And that's a worry. It comes with the rider. Jusun ultimatum ends tomorrow. NLC alleges lack of capacity to manage wages. Supplementary budget stalls payments in agency. Finance Ministry mum. All of that can be found on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And directly below the masthead comes this one: Power Minister yet to give policy directive after 2 months in office. Nigeria Chinese firm signed 365 billion naira contract to upgrade distribution lines. Tinubu, Northern governors, others mourn as Oyinoi of Iberiland dies at 94. Many feared dead as boat with over 100 passengers capsizes. You want to know where this happened? In Taraba State. You can read up that story on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper. How Bello Matawale released billions to furnish 14 uncompleted governors' lodges. Zamfara government. Okay, let's bandits kill only teacher in Kaduna community. Wow, the only teacher in that community. Federal government plans reabsorption of retired military officers, and UN raises alarm as food stores are ransacked in Gaza. Okay, that's that from the Daily Trust. Let's quickly go to the Punch newspaper. Punch newspaper this morning. Labor issues is the lead story on its front page. Forex crisis, Labour blames government officials, meets federal government today. Politicians taste for foreign goods, pushing Nigeria to disaster. NLC threatens, or Labour threatens to boycott talks with government if minister attends. Okay, you can read up that story where now? On page 2 of the Punch newspaper. German Chancellor visits Tinubu, gives ECOWAS 8 million euros for, is it 8 or 81 million euros for security orders. Lagos begins demolition of Ikoyi structures near drainages, or near drainage. That's on page, let's see now, that's on page 18. Importers return to parallel market as Naira rebounds. You can read up that on page 38. And Israel Hamas deaths near 10,000. UN warns of civil unrest. That's on page 14 of the Punch newspaper. Moving on now, we go straight to Daily Sun. Concerns over economy rise. CBN goes after erring banks. MAN, OPS, others lament rise in inflation and forex scarcity. All of that can be found on page 2. Federal government moves to facilitate speedy delivery of attack helicopters to NAF. That's on page 5. IPOB to federal government remove terrorism tag on us. That's on page 6. Tinubu won battle but must work hard to win war. Mascot Uzokalu. You can get that on page 26. Federal government, Labour meets over fuel subsidy agreement. That's also on page 6. Court bars NLC from getting, or rather going on strike, protesting in Imo. That's on page 6. And this one, Nigeria crawling but determined to change narrative. Tinubu assures Reps propose life imprisonment for kidnapping, hostage-taking. That's on page 6. And finally, NDLEA nabs Hong Kong France-bound businessman at Abuja airport for ingesting cocaine, heroin. Okay, quickly let's look at the Nigerian Tribune. NLC threatens boycott of meeting with federal government. You saw that. We also saw that with on the front page of Punch newspaper. You can read up the story on page 5 of Nigerian Tribune. Warns Labour ministers not to attend to shut down economic activities in Imo State on November 1 over alleged labour maltreatment. I directed Kyari Malami to fight. $15 billion payment to PNID. That's according to former President Muhammadu Buhari. Okay, Tinubu governors orders mourn as Ohinoyi of Iberland dies at 95. Supreme Court judgment distraction over, Tinubu tells German Chancellor. 2 men suffocate inside diesel tank in Kano. What were they doing inside? Okay, only they can answer. Or your government appeals Song of Ogbomoso's sack. And is it Song or Shong of Ogbomoso? Okay, maybe Corridor will help us with that pronunciation now. Reps move to give legal backing to artisanal petroleum refineries. That's on page 7. And CNG vehicles, federal government inaugurates Lagos pilot conversion centers. So many stories begging for attention. Let's see Vanguard now, and that's the last paper up for review this morning. The Vanguard newspaper. NLC, TUC, NECA to federal government halt fall in Naira value. That's a lead story on the front page. You can read up that story on page 5. Everyone is concerned. Okay, net foreign exchange inflow falls 54% to $7.29 billion in the first quarter of this year. Above the masthead comes this one. We want to change weak economic narratives. Tinubu to German leader. National Assembly, INEC, Judiciary and future elections. That's a special report now on elections in Nigeria. Okay, let's look at this one. Varsity lecturer killed in Niger. Monarch. Catholic priest, 4 others abducted in Zamfara and Taraba. When do we hear the last of this? And finally, sports, 2026 World Cup qualifier, Leicester blocked Ndidi from joining Super Eagles. Okay, and that's not a good one for Super Eagles manager. Okay, with that we conclude the review of the dailies this morning. We've seen all the papers, or rather we've seen all the stories making headlines on the front pages of 5 newspapers that we have. I'm going to come to you, Comrade Odomo. First of all, what's the pronunciation of that word? Is it Song of Ogbomoso? Shong of Ogbomoso. Shong. Okay, cool.
You know, it's not a problem. The pronunciation depends on where you come from.
Exactly. Yes. No, but you should get it right. I should get it right.
Yes, but you know,
that's the environment. That's the environment where I grew up.
Yeah, nobody will take you on for that.
Okay. Let's go straight to the gist now. I'm going to like us to start with Imo State. You know, I might just be biased here. You know why? You know what's happening in Imo. The governor is not treating workers well. Labour wants to draw his attention to it, and then he's running to the court, and the court is protecting him.
But are you surprised that the courts are protecting them? As the courts have ever been for a common man? You see, when the workers are accusing that you are not doing well, and you are going to the court, and the court is telling you to not to worry about it. Then tomorrow, if there is anything like an upheaval, they will say the workers are agitating, they are disgruntled, they start using every type of label on them. They will not even think of the cause or the causes of why these people are behaving that way. If somebody has worked, is entitled to his wages. Even it is in the book of James in the Bible. You are entitled to your wage. If you refuse to pay workers their wages and they cry unto God, the cry goes straight to God. It's a direct passport to God's kingdom. You see? So I don't know what actually is coming of the governor. You are facing election in a matter of weeks, and you are treating workers this way. If tomorrow the workers now rebel that, okay, we are not going to vote for you, will they say that they rigged them out of office, or what excuse are they going to give? This time is supposed to be friendly to everybody in the state. Is the money not there? Was it not budgeted for? Is it not having cash backing? Is it saying that the workers are not entitled to feed their families and they don't take other social responsibilities? I don't know why the court is backing him. Maybe there is there are other things that the courts have, or himself has, that we don't have. We are not privy to the other side of it. But if he feels that the only way to get his way through is to go to the courts, good luck.
Let's stay with NLC. They will be meeting with government today, and they have asked government, look, arrest the downward fall of the Naira. And they don't want the Labour Minister, Samuel Along, to be in that meeting. Otherwise, they will not attend. That's a vote of... is it a vote? It's already a vote of no confidence on the minister.
But again, they will tell you the minister was not elected, he was appointed. So they don't have right to say he should attend or he should not attend. And again, if a tiger appears for too many times, the children will tend to call it a goat. How many times will the Labour back and they will not buy it? Are we sure that this one they are talking about too is going to be anything meaningful? It's still going to be, people will still look at it to be the same way. Labour today go on strike, warning strike, one day they call it up, warning strike, they will not even start it at all, they will say they have read the truth. And they are not calling the federal government to arrest the slide of Naira. In what form will the federal government do it now? What are we selling that will make us show up the base of our Naira? What is our revenue base that will make us to show the base of the Naira? Are we not thinking along the international economy? When you import everything you use, and you think your Naira, your local currency will have weight, it is not possible. There are some African countries like Rwanda today who are doing very well. It's just because the man came in and said, no, we are going to stop importation of this, stop importation of that, stop importation of this. Let us go solo. Now they are better off for it. I think they produce GSM now, they produce cars, they produce so many things. And you want to compare that with Nigeria that has the largest population, if not for the economy, the population and manipulation. We are supposed to be having one of the largest, we are either the 5th largest population in the world, after China, India, and all these other countries, without us producing anything that eyes can see, without us exporting anything apart from the crude. And how is the crude competing in the international market today? Now, you now say they should show up the Naira. How? Are they going to withdraw the Naira from circulation to make it scarce so that the value will go up? Which is not possible, because it now leads to social unrest, stomach infrastructure. And you know what that means? So it's a gradual process. If they want us to go out of this quagmire, the best thing is to put a machinery in place that will make the nation progress gradually from the teaching stage we are until we are self-sufficient. Yeah,
I think that takes me to my next question. The president met with the German chancellor, and he admitted before him that the country is crawling, but is determined to change the narrative. How do you think he's going to do this?
It is very possible to change the narrative. It is re-engineering the economy. We are on a borrowing level for how many years now? Why can't we put a stop to this borrowing? Why don't we face the Herculean task ahead of us? Why can't we cut down on our expenditures? Because you are telling us that everybody should sacrifice, everybody should sacrifice. While there are very few who have refused to sacrifice and nothing is being done. You can imagine somebody else driving a car for 460 million, budgeting 57.6 billion naira to buy cars, and the worker salaries cannot be paid. Look at what is happening in Imo State you just mentioned just now. And you think they should be happy. If the government cuts down on all costs, cut down all these frivolous expenses, if a governor is on a tour, the cost of going and coming alone may be more than 50 million naira, but nobody looks in that direction. Because you have more than 50 cars in your entourage, you have to fuel those cars, you have to, there is an extra code, there is this they call it out-of-pocket expenses. All these things are part of frivolous expenses that they are taking away our money. On a more serious note, and in the actual part of it, what do you need 200 people in your entourage? Doing what? Doing what? So if we have to cut down on all these causes and face our agricultural base, face our production and in other areas, if we now come to electricity, come to our downstream sectors, by the time you police all these things religiously, you will see that in no time we are dancing out of this situation. And I believe that is what Mr. President means. If you look at his appointment, though it's lopsided, nobody can argue that. It's lopsided. These people are knowledgeable. They know what to do. But that does not mean that it's only one ethnic group that you know what to do in a situation like this. Everybody is gifted, not only one person. So if Mr. President wants to actually pursue this thing religiously, let this thing be spread across. Pick the best from every area. Like the first adoption of this dispensation we are now, that is 1990, 2003, 2007. The minister that served there spread across the country. That was all threw up like Umweke Jr., threw up this El Lazarofai, threw up Ribadu, yes, and even Mumuni. So many of them. But this one, you are not looking in that direction. You want to restructure or re-engineer the economy with only one particular section of the country. If the other side refuses to cooperate, we will get out the teething problem. The answer is no. Like your man here, Sadi Tukubo, is already fighting that this thing is not what they budgeted for. Having everybody from one enclave is very, very unfair. Okay.
Talking about having everybody from one enclave, IPOB has been speaking, and of course you know what IPOB represents, also fighting against this marginalization issue. Recently, the court ruled that they are not a terrorist group, and Nnamdi Kanu, their leader, should be paid 8 billion naira as compensation.
That's made money.
Okay, good money. I don't know. I envy him.
yes, so I think I can go to jail and get that type of money.
Okay, but now the group is speaking. Remove the terrorist toga on us. How long will it take the federal government to respect or obey the court ruling?
If the federal government wants to respect that ruling, it doesn't take even 1 month. It's for the Attorney General to prepare the documents and they strike out the name from the terrorist list. And again, too, had it been that the government pronounced that they are actually a terrorist group, will it take 1 week to effect that? Why is it now that the government the court is saying that these people are not terrorists? Delete their name from that list, and it's taking time to do it. Don't forget, it was not the federal government that proscribed them. It was the Eastern Region government, the governors, that proclaimed them to be terrorists. And they went to court, as at that time they could not win. But now, the court has given them their prayers. You are no longer terrorists. Therefore, the same government that proscribed them should also come up with the documents proscribing them to say that they have been delisted from the list. What actually are these people asking for? Like somebody said, they're only agitating for their own self-rule. Is that a crime? Nigeria agitated for self-rule from the British, and we are now self-governed. So if these people say they want to govern themselves, and you're calling them terrorists, that is not fair. In fact, when the guy was analyzing it last week, I think it was one of these television houses, I think I agree with him in most of what he said. Though he may be personal opinion, but I think that's what many people are buying into. Okay. If you don't want anybody to do that, call them to a roundtable conference and judge with them, not by war. War does not solve any problem.
No, it doesn't at all. I may have to stop you there because I have one last question for you because we seem to be running out of time. Okay, this one is reps propose life imprisonment for kidnapping and hostage taking. Life imprisonment. Yeah. Do you support that?
I'm keen to that idea because the horror in that thing, the people who have gone through it and come out alive will not tell you to even pray that your enemy should be kidnapped. I was a victim. I knew what I went through. For 6 good days, I was in the hands of these people. And at a point, I prayed that they should just go ahead and shoot because I cannot bear the pains anymore. Now, somebody is seated in the comfort of his home. You are coming to pick him up. Look at the one that happened just now. After paying the ransom, they still went ahead and killed the lady. Is that not bad enough? Then somebody is wallowing in influence of what he did not labor for. It is even that, what do they call it, the life imprisonment to me, still there is another more or a heavier punishment. I think they should give it to these boys because you cannot just imagine it. You cannot just imagine it. You are working hard every day. You are here, in morning till evening, day in, day out. There's somebody somewhere sleeping, only for him to see on the road and say, this guy has some money, let's pick him up and get some money from his family. It's very, very, very bad. But the rest will have also gone further. Not only that, those known treasury looters should also follow the same route. I read something about Amici, the former governor of Rivers and Minister of Transportation. I don't know whether that's true. He said, who is the politician that told you that it's not a thief and not a certificate forger? And the statement is coming from such people. Then the government and the judiciary should be put on inquiry. And once you put somebody on inquiry, he's bound to probe the matter to the bottom. So that
means most politicians, if not all of them, are thieves and certificate forgery or forger.
Say, did any politician tell you it's not a thief and a certificate forger? It's still in the news as we are talking now. It's in Phoenix. It's a news opera. So that's why I say whether he said it or somebody wrote it for him, I don't know. But that is the issue. Okay. So if we actually have this, if it is true that something like that is happening, they should also be included in that list.
Okay. Comrade Damo, critical indulgence, we might have to end it at this point.
Yes,
we ran out of time. I want to thank you for being part of the program. Thank those who also make this possible. You don't have to see them. You don't see them, but they're playing wonderful roles in bringing this to your homes. Thank you to you guys out there, and thank you to Vanguard newspapers for sponsoring this segment of the program. My name is Alex Ibunaya. Good morning.